Oh, you ready to shoot?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Gilly's Guns. So today I'm out here with another weird gun. I think I'm going to start a series called Weird Guns. I kind of like odd or different guns you don't see every day. This is a Springfield Hellion. If you like these kind of weird videos, make sure to like this one and comment down below what your favorite weird gun is. But this is a 5.56 bullpup, as you can see. Your action is back here. It has a 16-inch barrel. They do make a couple different models of these now that have 20-inch barrels, and that's more of a clone type rifle for the military version. Our military doesn't use this, but this is made in Croatia, imported by Springfield Arms, and it's made by the same company that makes the XD pistols for them. So you know they're a good quality firearm. This thing's mostly polymer, but it's really heavy duty polymer, and it's kind of an interesting take on a bullpup. The trigger group is back here, and you have a long linkage that runs up to your trigger. So the triggers on bullpups aren't very good, and this one isn't very good either, but it's shootable. It's pretty long and squishy with not a real clean break, but you can feel the reset. It's a good reset. It's about a 7-pound trigger, so it's not light. But anyway, it is full ambidextrous. You can rotate the bolt head and close this dust cover, and then there's a little pin that goes in. You take it out of the other side, and that opens the left-hand dust cover, so a lefty can shoot it without getting brass to the kisser. Overall, it's not a bad little rifle. Pretty handy. The charging handles, you can see, is pulled out on this side. It's kind of a G36 style, so you can work it from either side of the gun. It is non-reciprocating, so once you drop the bolt, it stays in that position. The bolt release is back here, and it's a pinch release. So that is kind of strange, but I suppose if you had a lever to run up to a standard, bolt release, it would probably be really spongy and require a long travel to make it work. So this bolt release works pretty good. It's just give it a squeeze, and you can see the charging handle went forward, and it's now in the forward position. Really uses AR mags. There's not much else to say about it. It is adjustable for length of pole, but I think the length of pole is about 14.5 inches. I didn't measure it, but it's pretty long in the fully collapsed version, so, or fully collapsed position, so I don't know that you would ever really need to extend that. It is pretty well balanced, which is kind of the neat thing. You can really one hand shoot it like a pistol if you wanted to. It's got these backup iron sights that are, I guess they're probably not backup, they're probably the intended use iron sights. They don't co-witness unless you had a really low optic on it, but the rear sight is windage adjustable, and then it has different peep apertures for different ranges. So it's pretty good rear sight. They're all metal. It's seems to be really durable. I mean, I like it. I guess one interesting thing, this mag well is removable, and your magazine release is right here on the back, and it is you can take that out and put in I'm not sure if it's G36 mags, but there's another magazine that the Croatian military uses, so maybe they'll come out with some other compatibility later on, but in the United States this is what you're going to want. The ambidextrous safety is right here. It's pretty positive, and the throw is fairly short on it, so you got one on both sides. There's not really not really much else to say. You got QD points throughout the gun, the amount of sling. I'm really curious to see how accurate this thing shoots. And I wanted to try some different magazines. So this is a 10 round band magazine, Colt magazine. We got a Lancer 20 round. This is a, is it a DS Products? Duramag. 10 rounder, Magpul 10 round, and a Magpul 20 round. And then I do have a D50 over here, Magpul D50. I wanted to see if that was going to work, and it does. I've got some steel case tool ammo in it, and this gun shoots steel case just fine. I haven't had any issues with it so far. I think I've put about 100 rounds through it so far. Let's go ahead and do a little shooting here. I do want to try some accuracy. These are 77 grain reloads, and this is a 1 in 7 twist barrel, so the 77 grain bullets should be should like those. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a little bit of shooting with it. Alright, so I got the D50 in here. I can say that that magazine it gets in the way of your arm, so it's not very comfortable to shoot, but from a bench it's not bad. It does have M-lock on the handguard, so I guess I could mount a bipod on here, but the legs would probably extend back over the trigger folded or way out in front of the gun, so I don't know that that would be real practical. But yeah, just do a little shooting down range here. The recoil impulse is pretty mild. It's a piston driven system, so it has a gas piston up here, and this is your adjustable gas lever. It has a suppressor setting. It seems like it's gassed fine. I haven't had any issue with it. So no problem hitting the bigger steel targets down there with this steel, with this tool ammo, steel case stuff. So really, not a bad shooting little gun. It runs the D50s. There's your ejection. If you want to hold the bolt open, you have to reach up in the mag well and push the bolt catch. You know, obviously with an empty magazine it'll hold itself open, but if you want to manually operate that. Otherwise, pretty neat little gun, very small package. I'm going to go turn the target camera on and we'll do some shooting to see what kind of groups we get. Alright, so these are my 77 grain reloads, and they seem to work pretty well out of most 1 in 7 guns, so that's why I brought them out. I'm going to start on the lower left hand target up there. One thing I have to say is the only place to really grip the gun in the bench top position anyway, off a bench and bags, is right here at the mag well. Doesn't seem to be too bad of a place to grip to stabilize the gun, but it does make it a little harder to adjust your bag. But well, let's get started. I'm going to do 5 rounds, and then I'll switch up and do I'm going to try this Gold Dot 64 grain law enforcement ammunition as well. So this is a Vortex 1-6 Strike Eagle, and I can't see the bullet impacts down there. I don't know if it's exactly zeroed, but it's close enough to get a group out of. But you guys will be seeing them the same time I'm seeing them, so which will probably be when I go down there. Starting on the left. Trigger's pretty spongy. I'm going to do one more group with these. I'll go to the target on the lower right. Little short magazines are a little bit difficult to get out. Alright, 2 more. Alright, let's go ahead and put some of this, at least the rest of this mag on steel. Starting off with the silhouette in the middle, and I'm going to aim where the bolt hole is. So I know I got at least one of them through the bolt hole. So this is a cold hammer forged barrel, and it doesn't seem to be affecting much heat wise. It doesn't affect it much. Alright, so I'm going to try the Spear Gold Dot. The little short magazines are hard to get inserted, but the longer ones you don't seem to have any issue with. So I'm going to go to the top left target. Yep, fell down. Alright, so I want to try some of these steel cased tool ammo. This is 55 grain, and let me load 5 of these up in another magazine here. Alright, my target on the left's flapping there, so I'm going to go to the one on the right, the upper right target. Alright, no functional issues with those. Getting warm, but not terrible. Alright, I want to shoot a couple bowling pins. This is that 77 grain bullet again. Starting with the one on the left. Go to the right. Let's see if we can hit a golf ball. Try the one, the orange one on the right. There we go, let's go to the left. All the way to the left. That one's evading me. Might as well get some steel. Let's go for those small little 4-inch targets. Spinner on the right. Spinner on the left. Guess I'll just put a group in the center of that that 10-inch steel plate on the left. Stacking them right in there. I tell you, I kind of like this thing. The ejection is not very far, so I'm not having to worry about my brass. It's all landing on my tarp, other than what's landing on my arm. Go back to that silhouette. So just so you know, that looked like the first shot missed on the silhouette. It didn't. It actually went through the hole. So it is shooting really well. You know, I'm really happy with the accuracy of it. I wasn't sure what to expect. I know, you know, HS Products makes good firearms, and Springfield imports, you know, guns that they feel comfortable with. And I'd say this was a good example of that. It's a good solid rifle. Probably not ideal for everybody. The manual arms is a little different than what most of us are used to, but you know, definitely usable, and you can get used to that. The manual arms. Overall, really impressed with how accurate it's shooting. I think maybe next time I bring it out, I'll put a little better scope on, something I can see my hits with, and we'll see if we can get some one-hole groups out of this thing. Maybe I'll load some better ammunition. That is mixed brass. It's just basically a 77 grain plinking load that I had worked up. So let's go check it out and see what it does. Well, guys, I probably shouldn't have shot that steel until I'd already looked at these targets, but this was our first 77 grain grouping, about 2 inches. This was 64 grain Spear Gold Dot, same thing, about 2 inches. Over here, this was our second 77 grain group, and I believe that's about 1.5 inches. I need to get a tape measure out here to do this sort of thing, but this is the tool ammo, and yeah, that's kind of what I expect. I do think it warrants, you know, this group definitely warrants putting a better scope on. But for that trigger, you know, that's that's probably about as good as I'm going to be able to shoot it. You can see on that target, they were right there close to that hole. So I was shooting at that hole, and I know I got at least a couple of them through. So anyway, not bad. All right, guys, my final thoughts on the Hellion. You know, 1.5 to 2 inch groups with this scope, I think, is doing pretty good. 6 power, basically the aiming post in this scope. You kind of aim at the top crosshair, and it covers up about 1 inch. So at 100 yards, so it's about what I expect. You know, I think it warrants putting a good scope on here, and maybe I'll bring out that old Weaver T36 target scope. If I can ring out any kind of groups, it's going to be with that scope. But overall, this thing's really handy. It is a little heavy, but I did talk about, I think you could basically shoot that thing one-handed, which is kind of cool. It's definitely friendly one-handed on the shoulder. So overall length, it's about the same as like a 10.5 inch or 11.5 inch AR, like an AR pistol. So it's pretty cool, although you do have that 16-inch barrel. That's the advantage of the bullpup. Yeah, overall, I like it. You know, when I thought maybe it would just come home to a video and then sit in the safe, but you know, I don't think that's the case. I think I will get this thing out and shoot it some more. Probably put a suppressor on it. Just you know, there's some companies that make some 4-inch suppressors that wouldn't add that much length to it. So I really think that would be an option. It'd still be pretty handy. It may get some type of a holographic sight or reflex type sight. I don't really see it being a target rifle by any means with that trigger, and not being able to upgrade that. I'm not going to be out here consistently trying to shoot groups and checking loads with it. But you know, definitely look at that silhouette target down there, and there's a lot of rounds right around that bolt hole, and some of them, 2 or 3 of them, went through the bolt hole. So which that was my aiming point. So pretty darn good. I think I mentioned it's a piston gun, so you know, running suppressed, I think you get a lot less gas back in the face. So I think that'll be a good advantage. Alright guys, if you like this sort of thing, please like the video and leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think about bullpups, or if you think this is a viable option for you. And until next time, I hope you could get out on the range and do some shooting of your own. Yeah, that includes you, Ernie. Get out on the range, and I'll see you on the next video.